Hey folks, this is David Cangelosi. I'm not sure you can recognize me with my surgical gloves and double masked for the win here. I am in Chicago O'Hare International Airport, and I am headed this Sunday morning to Montgomery, Alabama. I am going to be creating a short film over the course of the next several days of a comeback concert that some really brave and intrepid and dedicated artists are going to be doing in Montgomery, Alabama, as we try to navigate our way through the COVID experience and get back onto the stage where so many of us want to be, because so many of us just simply haven't been on the stage for so long. So from within my hotel room here in Montgomery, Alabama, where I'm basically sequestering before we present our big concert in a couple of days, it can't go unsaid or unrecognized that we still have to do a great deal of promotion. So I just did when I used to appear on camera within the confines of a theater, of a newsroom to promote the recital. Today we had to do it by phone, but I really want to thank all the local television and radio stations who are giving me some airtime here in the next couple days to promote the concert that's coming to Montgomery. I kind of called it a comeback concert, and there's a lot to do. We have a limited audience that we're allowed, but we're going to put as many people in the seats as want to come up to the legal limit of the law. Good morning, friends. I am standing outside the studios here at Blue Water Broadcasting here in Montgomery, Alabama. I'm trying to chronicle to a small extent what we are doing to promote a comeback concert here in Montgomery, Alabama. It's something I've been doing for a number of years. During these COVID times, it's very difficult to get a live in-theater concert up and running, but we've jumped through every appropriate hoop to make this happen, and that includes some promotion. I've done some television and about to do some radio this morning. This will be the first actual in-studio, fully masked, of course, appearance that I will make. Most of it's been by telephone, at least for the television spots, although we will do a live television segment today.
Good news, the Montgomery Symphony Orchestra and the Van Vocal Institute will be hitting the stage for the first time in almost a year. They'll host an opera recital at the Davis Theater in downtown Montgomery this Thursday. The Institute has been holding the recital for more than 14 years. COVID protocols will be followed by patrons and performers. The performance is free, but you've got to register because of limited seating. Van Vocal Artistic Program Director says this concert is a way to help both the performer and patron feel a sense of just being normal.
This is a concert that is meant to promote unity, beauty, joy, and a small sense of normalcy. We're going to get back to normal. But we wanted to be on the very, very front cusp of returning that normalcy back to this magnificent community.
I'm sitting with Brian Reeves, the executive director of the Montgomery Symphony Association. Brian, I wanted to ask you just to get your thoughts a little bit on what this kind of means to the Montgomery Symphony Association to be on the back edge of a pandemic, but also on the front edge of a reopening of our theaters, our arenas, our stadiums. Of course, we're in the classical music business, and we're going to be doing a special operatic concert. It's been a long time coming because we've all been out for a year. And you and I started working on this project quite a long time ago, back in September, not knowing if we would actually be able to do it, yet nonetheless we kept going. And here we are in the end of February, and we're about to pull it off. And I'd just like to get a couple ad hoc thoughts on that.
So, so since you and I first started talking about this, kind of late summer, early fall, the symphony proper has done a few performances And so the association has wanted to stay on sort of the front edge of this the whole time. Of course, there are plenty of things that we haven't been able to do, but we've been approaching it the whole time as whatever, from the standpoint, whatever we can do that is both reasonably safe and artistically fulfilling, we will do. And so we have been able to do a couple of orchestra concerts, and this event with Van Vocal, I think, is very important to us. It's one of the most important events that we can do, because for one thing, it's very practical for us to do it with that reasonable degree of safety. From the standpoint of just not having as many people on stage as can complicate sort of the logistics of it. But then at the same time, this is one of the events, one of the only events where we bring down professional musicians that are absolutely at the top of their field. And it's one of the only times of the year for people in Montgomery to be able to see something like this, with real professionals of this caliber. And for it to be absolutely free, and so I think it's very important, both for the association and for our audience and for the community here in Montgomery.
Most of the singers and musicians, pianists that come down have performed all over the world, from Paris to Berlin to London, Hong Kong, Buenos Aires, New York, of course, Washington, San Francisco. I name all of these cities only because by the time they've come, visited Montgomery, and leave, they can't wait to come back, which speaks a lot to the hospitality of the city, the capital city here in Alabama. And when we think of a hospitality quotient that kind of goes along with welcoming world-class or Tier 1 artists to the area, I'm curious very quickly for you to talk a little bit about the community outreach that makes these artists realize what a special place this is.
And this is one of the things that continues to impress me as I've become more and more acquainted with this, is the fact that these singers do want to come back after having sung and visited places all over the world, that they still they want to come back to Montgomery. And I think you're right that it does have to do with a sort of a hospitality aspect, and I think that is part of this community. I think it's certainly, not the least of which, the association, the board members, sort of the symphony people certainly are part of that and are part of that hospitality. But that is something that we're very proud of down here. I'm very pleased that our community in Montgomery is in a place that we have, the facilities and the different things to do to offer that hospitality. And I think the people down here are very pleased to do it. They're very welcoming, very glad to have the singers in town, and so we're all very pleased to offer that hospitality.
We've been speaking with Brian Reeves, Executive Director of the Montgomery Symphony Association. Brian, thank you for your time today.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey folks, you see my motley crew of artists. We've toured the theater with the Executive Director of the Symphony here for our big performance tomorrow, comeback performance. It'll take place over at that theater. Everybody got in okay with their flights. We've had lunch. As I said, we've toured the theater, and we're all looking forward to getting started. So hold on to your hats. We'll hope for the best. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking with Kevin Short of the Metropolitan Opera and Juilliard School of Music, who's here in Montgomery, Alabama. Kevin, we're about to do a concert tonight. It's the first time a lot of us have been in a theater for a long time, and I'm just trying to capture just a few very brief thoughts about how you feel about being down here in beautiful Montgomery, back on stage again.
It's absolutely wonderful. I didn't realize how much I missed the whole routine of prepping, taking a shower and steaming and vocalizing. All of that has gone by the wayside for the past 10 months. And you never realize, I didn't realize just how much I missed that.
Would you consider yourself more excited for this evening or more nervous?
I'm very excited.
Very
yes.
excited.
Yes.
And you're ready to go.
I'm ready to go. This feels like what I have spent most of my life doing, and I'm returning to some normalcy, to what I am most familiar with.
You completed a lifelong goal, I think, of singing the title role of Porgy in Porgy and Bess, among your many, many other accolades in opera companies worldwide. And you're going to do a little unscripted, unprinted encore this evening. And are you looking forward to doing that? And will this be the first time that you've sung some Porgy excerpts since last year at the Met?
That's right.
Okay.
Since last year.
So we've been speaking with Kevin Short, Metropolitan Opera great and opera star worldwide, and now a member of the Juilliard School of Music voice faculty, in addition to other posts that he holds academically here in the United States. Thanks for being with us today, Kevin.
Thank you.
We are, for the first time, in a theater. Been a long time, folks. This evening we will do our comeback concert in live theater format. We're here in beautiful Montgomery, Alabama, in one of the most beautiful theaters in the South. I'll give you a little 360 here. We're allowed just a very limited number of people here tonight, but this concert means a lot to a lot of people, including the performers who haven't been on stage in about a year, as well as the audience who haven't been indoors to be entertained in quite some time. So everybody is on board between the Montgomery Symphony Association, the management here at the Davis Theater for the Performing Arts, which is a Troy University property now, and we're going to make this happen. You hear some of the rehearsing going on in the background as we get started here today. It's going to be fun, and everybo's really kind of nervous, but we're going to make it happen, and we're going to make it happen in grand style. Thanks.
Jorge says hi.
Yay. Say hi back. I will. And say my love. Rachel had a question. In the end of the lesson, are you doing the ha 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 ha?
Well, I was just talking to David about that. I think he prefers...
Get out of camera shot. Oh, no, I'm just going to run over and say hi to the camera.
No,
What are you doing?
and he was asking.
See you.
You too.
Yeah.
Are you tired? Are you?
I closed those
I
shades
never
in
do that for
the
I've never sung the opera, so...
curtains and the heavy curtains, and I was out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't, it's the same.
do the same. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're down in the dressing rooms here at the Davis Theater for the Performing Arts in Montgomery, Alabama. We're upstairs rehearsing what will be the only rehearsal we have for a big performance tonight. It's kind of a comeback concert of sorts. And we have two of the stars of the show down here before they go up to rehearse, Dean Yarvanya and Rachel Gilmore. I would like to ask each of you just very briefly to express how it feels to finally get back on stage after probably an entire year of being off the stage, has been the case for most of us. Dean, I'll go to you first.
It feels incredible. It feels wonderful. It feels like it's where we're supposed to be. I enjoy singing incredibly. It's an amazing feeling to sing for a live audience. It's the way it should be done. And I'm really grateful to be here with the Van Vocal Institute.
I asked your colleague Kevin, who's joining us tonight on the concert, if you're more excited or more nervous, neither or both.
I think it's a perfect combination of both.
Right? Rachel, tell us how you feel.
Oh gosh, it's just so wonderful to be back, not only singing on stage and for a live audience, but with our colleagues, being in the same room and collaborating again together. It's a really nice feeling, and I think the audience is going to really enjoy experiencing live theater again. We've all been doing so many virtual things, which has been wonderful to keep the arts going, but just to be in the space all together having that same experience, I think it's going to be fantastic.
It's been a long haul for all of us. We've been speaking with Mr. Dean Yarvanya, one of the world's finest tenors, and actually speaking with Rachel Gilmore, and they happen to be a husband and wife team. Just wanted to catch them both in the dressing room while we had a chance. She's one of the finest coloratura sopranos in the world, if not the most, the finest. But be that as it may, we're all colleagues together, and we thank you both for your thoughts.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking with Christopher Sanchek, who is Dr. Christopher Sanchek, who is one of our pianists and conductors for the Van Vocal Institute Celebrity Recital. I'm getting some people's thoughts on getting on stage for the first time in a lot of years. We're in the theater rehearsing this morning. Chris, can you just tell us very briefly how you feel about finally getting back on stage with some of these world-class artists? You're local here to Alabama, and we're just thrilled to have you as one of our outstanding piano conductors on stage today.
Thank you so much. I just had the pleasure of being able to accompany Kevin Short on a beautiful Mozart aria, and then we followed that up with doing Lily's Eyes from the Secret Garden. And to be on stage performing again after so long is such an incredible thing. Sitting among great artists, performing with great artists, singing in a theater where we can finally again perform beautiful art is such a beautiful and meaningful thing. And I'm so glad, Mr. Cangellosi, that you brought us back to be able to do this wonderful event and to be able to perform, because it's been so long, and I know all of us are just so overwhelmed emotionally by being once able again to do live performance. It's really lovely.
I'm asking everyone this same question. A number of people have been doing virtual experiences, which has been great. It has kept the music going. But now we're stepping on stage for many of us, most of us, for the first time in almost a year. And for you to sit on stage with a live audience tonight, is it an equal mixture of excitement and nervousness, or neither, or both? Or?
Absolutely. It's a mixture of both, because we know the audiences are just as excited to be back here. They've missed being able to see live performance for so long. So I'm excited for them, nervous for them, because I know that there's this sense of eager anticipation for them to be able to enjoy this amazing event. So yeah, I have a little bit of mixed emotions of both nerves and excitement. Also, just excitement being able to play with these wonderful singers. They're just so lovely.
We do bring in a good group of people from the Metropolitan Opera and all the opera houses in the world. We appreciate you being here. We've been speaking with Dr. Christopher Sanchek, who's the Director of Choral Activities over at Alabama State University, but he is also a superb accompanist conductor, and we're thrilled to have you with us this year.
Thank you, Mr. Cangellosi. It's my pleasure.
We're speaking with Maya Lachiani, one of the finest voices that's on the roster of the Metropolitan Opera. She's been heard around the world, and she holds the distinction of being the first Israeli-born to actually ever sing on the stage of the Metropolitan Opera. But Maya, you are here in Montgomery, Alabama.
I am.
And you're here to assist myself and your other wonderful colleagues in a comeback concert that kind of ushers back in the genre of live stage performance. We've jumped through many a hoop to be here, and we're in rehearsing today for a concert tonight, and I'm sort of asking everyone how they feel about being back on stage for the first time in about a year.
Well, I feel happy, excited, a little nervous, and especially really grateful to be singing again, to be singing live to real people again. I mean, it's been almost a year. I think my last public singing was March 9th, so really next week it will be a year. And it's tremendous. It's very moving, very emotional.
Now, you have a toddler at home, and you're also married to a gentleman who is also a singer in the business. The pandemic had to pose some special challenges for you all. And I don't mind if you would just tell us briefly about that, to the extent that you feel comfortable, of how you've, in a sense, survived for a year.
Yeah. Well, we are a household of two singers who slowly but surely saw their livelihood and income crumble throughout the year. We also have a very young daughter. She was 7 months when the pandemic started, and now she's 19 months. So a huge challenge. It's a huge challenge. It's a huge challenge, and we're both very, very hopeful we can be back to work soon.
We've been speaking with Maya Lahiani. We are very lucky and privileged to have you here in this beautiful theater in the capital city of Alabama, here in Montgomery. We hope you enjoy your time here, because I know the audience will certainly enjoy your work on stage tonight.
Thank you so much for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am sitting here with Dr. Howard Watkins, who serves as one of the most distinguished pianist, coach, and conductors at the Metropolitan Opera, but he also has academic posts at Bard Conservatory of Music, Yale School of Music, the Juilliard School. So he keeps himself very busy. He has one of the deepest resumes you may ever come across as a man in his field. And he has granted us his time down here in Montgomery, Alabama for our big comeback concert. He has played all over the world, and he's played with some of the finest artists and a number of colleagues. Every one that's on stage tonight he has also worked with. Howard, this has been an extraordinarily difficult and unexpected 12 months that we have all been through. I'm trying to gather some thoughts from everybody on how they feel about coming back to the live performance venue of actually being inside a theater so that our audiences can consume the product the way it was meant to be. Some of your thoughts, please?
It's quite an amazing thing that we've been through in this last year or so. And I think in this time, it's given us all a time to reflect, a time to get back in touch with why we do this and what we love about doing. In missing it and really feeling the need to do it again, we now don't take it for granted. So this tonight is going to be something incredibly special. We finally get to put our voices and our fingers and our hearts back out there for audiences, and it's coming from a place of deep need to put that out there again, which, you know, when you're going and you're doing it day in and day out, of course it has moments where it may get a little stale or it may get a little tired. This will have none of that.
You always have a breakneck schedule between your very, very heavy duties at the Metropolitan Opera and all your academic outreach that you do. When you finally get a chance to sit back and breathe in the music, as we have time to do today, does it take on any different appeal to you, where it's not going to a job every day, and I mean, it's never a job. This is a very special job that we do,
Right.
But this is not, hey, we're going to rehearsal, let's have lunch, let's go back to rehearsal. This seems to be a special moment for everybody. Even the rehearsal today seems to be special for everyone. Thoughts?
I think when you're just going from day to day and when you're trying to be your most professional self, you tend to think of the fingerings and the notes and being with the other person and all this. But when we're coming from this place today, there's this extra dollop of pure emotion and pure communication and just wanting to give each other a musical hug and give the audience a musical hug that's maybe a little extra on top of what we usually have.
We've been speaking with Dr. Howard Watkins, one of the most distinguished artists in the world, who is right here in Montgomery, Alabama for a comeback concert that will take place tonight. Howard, thank you for speaking with us today, and we look forward to tonight's performance.
For having me.
It was our great pleasure. We're back with Rachel Gilmore. Rachel, we just finished doing a rather inspiring rehearsal here at the Davis Theater, and it kind of struck me as a point of interest as we read through your bio, and you've sung in all of the grand opera houses in the world, notably, of course, the Metropolitan Opera, but Teatro alla Scala in Italy, with those two opera houses being probably the most recognized names in all of opera. What does it feel like to walk into a old but classic theater right here in Montgomery, Alabama?
Well, you know, I'm a Georgia girl, so I enjoyed being down here in the South, and I love this theater. It's just beautiful, and the acoustic is wonderful, and you know, it's just like any other theater, except this experience being so much more special because we get to all be together again and be in person and hear each other's voices. It's just wonderful.
I'm glad to hear you say that. We really look forward to your performance tonight. If it was as good as I just listened to in rehearsal, the audience is in for a real treat. Thank you so much for being with us again.
Thank you, David.
You bet. Once again, we're standing here with Dean Yarvanya in the lobby, the beautiful chandeliered lobby of the Davis Theater for the Performing Arts here in Montgomery, Alabama. Dean Yar, I would like to ask you a question as part of our docu-series that we're doing. When you have come down here in the past, and this is your third time visiting with us, you have often brought material that perhaps you're kind of trying out or wanted to reintroduce into your repertoire before you take it on other places, and we're always thrilled to hear you, of course, no matter what it is that you do. But being one of America's most dynamic young tenors that's on the scene today, I wouldn't mind hearing a little bit about the repertoire you choose when you come down here to sing for us.
Sure. The idea that I like to do here in Montgomery is because the people are people I know, and I get to be around friends and colleagues that I know are generous and giving, and I get to sing for an audience that is also very generous. I've kind of made it a point to come in here and sing arias that I haven't really spent a lot of time working on in the past, or they're roles that arias from roles that I would like to perform in the near future or in my performance future. The repertoire for this concert is similar in a way. The first aria I'll be singing is Donna non mi mai from Puccini's Mon Lescaut, which I know is a favorite of somebody that is here. So it's a great chance to sing that. Also, it's a role that the role of Degueux in Mon Lescaut is a role that I only performed once. So it's a chance to actually put that back into my working repertoire. The second aria is Pourquoi me réveiller from Werther by Massenet. And that aria I've actually never sung before. And it's from an opera that is also relatively new to me, new on my scope of the to-do list, the ongoing career to-do list. And I felt that this would be the perfect place for me to come and try it out and give it a whirl.
Well, they sound like they've been in your repertoire right from the very beginning. That's how beautifully executed they are. Dean Yarvanya, we thank you for your time today. We look forward to hearing you tonight.